What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another video. Every Wednesday, we will be doing Marriage One-on-One, how to stay together.
Every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. So this week, we're going to cover 3 topics: trust, communication, and understanding. Now, just so y'all can have a little background, we are currently going on 7 years of marriage. Next year, 2023, 7 years of marriage. That's a year of completion.
It feel like it's been like 20 years.
It feel like that. We've been together for a total of 10 years. Yeah, 10. We dated for 3. And we've been married for 7. So we got a chance to get to know each other a lot. So the first topic that we're talking about is trust.
Trust.
How do you want to expound on trust right now?
Trust is one of the 4 corners of a relationship. It's trust is something that you can't just easily just give it to somebody. It's something that kind of has to be earned based off of people's characteristics. So I know for us with trust, it kind of expanded based off of the more time we spent with each other.
Right.
I would say the things that she knew about me in my life, like as far as dating, and it didn't go anywhere, that's what really built our trust up.
Yes.
A big thing with trust too is when you can keep everybody else out, and then you two work on it together. That's how the trust really expands and get bigger, because when you have other people in there and you tell other people your business, or the trust kind of goes out of the way. And even more so just with your lifestyle with a relationship, whether it be dating or marriage, trust is more so of, look, I got your back, you got mine. You're not gonna stab me in the back, I'm not gonna stab you in the back, or publicly disrespect me or disrespect me any kind of way.
Right.
So that's what I would say. I could go on and on with trust. Trust is very big. Like I said, it's a cornerstone in a relationship. One of the cornerstones.
It is. And going to communication. Communication, I feel like, is very important. Like, not with just marriage, just life, that's period. You have to know how to communicate. And I think that was something we learned how to do along the way, was communicate. Not saying we have a perfect marriage, but we have came a very long way.
Absolutely.
When learning how to communicate, learning how to give each other time before we did communicate when there was an issue that arose. I believe, like they say, communication is the key.
It is. In
every relationship. In order for you to find a solution, you have to communicate. An assumption doesn't even tie in together with communication. An assumption just builds a wildfire. But when you learn how to communicate with one another, it helps you get better along the way. It shows your children that, okay, when something's going on with mommy and daddy, listen, I know that I have to communicate. When there's something going on with me, and that's why I say it just doesn't have to do with marriage. This has a big effect with your children as well, with the way that you communicate with each other, the way that you talk to each other.
That's real big for kids.
Trust, that goes along with trust, respecting one another, communicating, giving each other time, giving each other space to be able to say, okay, let me give you your moment because I know you're going through it. And another thing that helps too is when you going to understand your spouse. Meaning that when he needs time, I have to be able to discern that, look, okay, right now he don't want to talk, so let me just give him his moment. And then when he's ready to open up to let me know what's going on, that's the best time for me to say, okay, baby, let's sit down, let's communicate, let's see what's going on. What would you say about understanding?
And it's vice versa. I like how you say that, because sometimes you do need that space, because when you take that space, that's basically respecting the heat of the moment, to where you don't want to say anything, and you regret it. So what you do out of respect, you be like, okay, well, let me just take this time off, let me cool off. And that kind of goes along with communication. I know for us, what really helped us was when there was a situation or any type of occurrence, whether it's dealing with family, whether it's dealing with us or a child, if it was something that we didn't agree on, that we had a disagreement, and let's say that it kind of got bigger than what it is, we would usually be like, okay, let's take a step back, let's evaluate, and we come back to it. But the main thing that we didn't do, we did not let it linger overnight.
No.
Cannot let it linger overnight. That's why communication is important, because when you let stuff sit and linger, it gets worse and worse and worse. The tension gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like if you don't get rid of that milk, it's gonna spoil. It's gonna get worse and worse. If you let things linger, anything old is gonna get worse and worse. It's gonna start to smell. So with communication, it kind of plays a big part, because nobody can read each other's minds. We can read our body language. We can read, okay, this vibe is off, but you don't know exactly what's in your mind as far as the thoughts that I'm thinking.
Right.
So, and with understanding, I'm sorry, I was still on communication, but with
that is the key. I'll tell you, it goes hand in hand. We'll understand it. It ties in.
It goes hand in hand, because when you have understanding, now you're not closed-minded.
Right.
So when you understand your significant other, you understand your spouse, now you're to the point to where, okay, I'm not going to just always think I'm right all the time, but I want to see why you think like that. I want to see why you feel like that. So now when you have understanding, you also have a stronger bond.
Right.
When you have that stronger bond, everything else follows.
Right.
When you understand her and she understand you, I'm like, okay, now I understand why you're this way. It'll be less blame game.
Yeah.
It'll be way less blame game. It'll be less being combative. But it gotta start with each. It gotta start with both of us.
Right.
If one person is understanding, the other person not understanding, it's not gonna work.
Right.
If neither one of you is understanding, it's definitely not gonna work. So it comes to the part where it gotta be both.
It has to be both. And lastly, I would say with communication, this just came to me. When you're communicating with one another, you have to listen.
Guys, to listen.
You can't just say, oh, we're communicating. We're doing well with communication, but nobody's listening.
Right.
You have to learn how to listen to one another. That goes with understanding as well. When you listen, that means that you're understanding what your spouse is saying. So today, we just wanted to come on here and encourage you guys today. Every married couple, every person that's in a relationship that's looking to get married, listen, trust, communication, understanding. We talk about it so much, but it's missed. And that's why we wanted to come on here and just expound on the first 3 steps of marriage, which there's going to be more that we're going to talk about next week. But trust, communication, and understanding, listening, observing one another, understanding one another, like all that goes hand in hand. So did you have anything else to say before we close out?
This was a great video. She told me about it. I was like, oh man. But now I was like, I got a lot to say.
Yeah, he does. He always does.
I don't.
You do.
But she always. One thing about her, she always know how to get me going. Even when I don't feel like it sometimes with anything. It could be, hey, you want to go out and do it? But when I'm with her and we get going.
And that's crazy you said that, because next week, y'all be sure to tune in. We're talking about supporting one another, spending time with one another, and also keeping people out your business.
Oh, that's good. You probably took that out of my book.
And going through things together. That goes hand in hand. So we do appreciate you guys tuning in to the first episode of Marriage One-on-One, How to Stay Together. I will talk to you guys soon. My name is Kia, and this is Aaron.
Mike Lowry.
And this is my husband, my handsome husband, Aaron McCurdy. Stay tuned for more. We'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.